our set is 2 minutes faster than it was last April. I went, my God. I particularly learned that from the Ramones, that slam, there's that number. Where's the next one? Because there's people watching you, people got things to do. It's a busy world out there, you know. Give it to them.
The 80s were a rough period. We were the only band out there doing this. I mean, you kept doing it because of, you didn't know how to do anything else. This was your job. But we knew the 80s, there was no chance.
MTV didn't really have a lot of concentrated play in the early days. They were very thankful for anything that was handed to them. So if you handed a Ramones video, they would have played it. And as they got tighter and got more corporate, the Ramones were sort of kicked out.
I think MTV destroyed music. They just started seeing themselves a bit too godlike, you know what I mean? If you didn't have a video that cost $500,000, you wouldn't get aired.
We were out there by ourselves. Yep. Rough period. Live show was still good, so we're coming out to see the live show.
Well, it's really great to be here in New Hampshire this evening, playing for all you wild people out there. We'd like to dedicate this one to Kevin. Take it, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4.
After Richie leaves the band, well, I don't never really sure what reason, but she just left the band.
See, what the Ramones was, I was Richie Ramone when you wanted me to be, but then I was just the hired guy when you wanted me to be. And you gotta remember, there was a lot of money in T-shirts made. When it came to T-shirt money, I wasn't a Ramone. And this is after 5 years, you know? I felt I was due. I wasn't asking for the world. I felt I should get a little of that T-shirt money. What's the big deal?
We'd like to introduce you to our newest member, Marky Ramone, yeah? Take it to time. Let's rock right back!
No, the thing with the Ramones that was also important is that they were troubadours. They constantly were out there going around the world.
You kind of took it for granted after a while because they were always there. They were always great. They always looked the same. You know, it's like no matter how much time went by, it seemed like they were trapped in some sort of like time bubble where they wouldn't change and never seemed to get any older or look any different. These bizarre trends would come and go, and then you'd go see the Ramones and be like, how many year is it anyway?
Here we were, these kids, and their records got to us in a place where we didn't fit in. You know, everybody in this band, when they first heard the Ramones, it was like, whoa, finally a band for us.
If it would have only been virtuosos that I would have looked up to as a little kid, then I would have never gotten started. And when I discovered stuff like the Ramones, it all clicked in my head. I realized that music was something that I could do right now.
There were no standards after the Ramones. All you had to do is just be yourself. And that gave me a lot of self-esteem when I needed it, and confidence.
So, you know, came back, I was sober, and things were fine, except the tension between Johnny and Joey was still there. And I thought, Jesus Christ, how long are you going to hold on to this shit, you know what I mean? But Joey held it in, you know, I didn't let it go.
Joey never got over anything. Joey could carry a grudge like an elephant never forgets.
Dee Dee, when I finally left, he wanted to go too, and I think he managed to hang on another year or something and do shows in like track pants or rap pants. You know?
Dee Dee became a rapper for a while. One of the first white rappers, and started dressing in his rap clothes before he'd go put on his Ramones clothes.
Alarm clock ringing, it's time to get up. It's time to do that funky strut. I'm a funky man, I got funky bones. I'm a funky man, my name is Dee Dee Ramone.
There was one time we went to Washington where he got on the plane. He was wearing
his sweats and his big gold chain. He was like in the rap outfit. And we're all looking at him saying, what's, you know, John was like pissed, you know.
Funky. Funky.
It's bizarre. And start talking like a rapper and everything else, and talking like a black person. He's like...
When Schoolie D came out with that album, and he would say, what time is it? And it's Gucci time, you know. I understood that. It's rising above oppression, you know. A Negro being able to buy a Gucci watch. Great, you know, I'm a Negro too. I felt the same excitement when I could buy a Gucci watch and spend a lot of money, like an outlaw. I don't think it was worth fighting over. It wasn't so good anyway, the album, you know. I couldn't do rap. I was trying. I don't know how. I'm not good enough to know. You know, I'm not a Negro or something. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. I wanted to.
Dee Dee Ramone says he's left the seminal New York punk group. In an interview with MTV News this past Monday, Dee Dee told us that the Ramones' constant touring has jeopardized his health and his determination to avoid drugs and alcohol. He also said that he'd been hit hard by his recent divorce and that he was very enthusiastic about working full-time with his new rap band, Strength. A Ramones spokesperson was cautiously optimistic that Dee Dee might change his mind, noting that he'd quit the group a number of times before.
I was sick. I was bulimic and anorexic. And nobody, you know, could tell because I was on so many antidepressants. I was bloated from them. And I was dying.
Mussolini slept here 2 nights.
I want to go home. Oh. You know what? I had it. It was just too miserable. Joey was drinking so much then. Finally, I said, I gotta get better.
I felt kind of like hurt by it because me and Dee Dee had always discussed, we're going to do this until we both decide me and you don't want to do this anymore.
Dee Dee was the main songwriter, and when he left, I felt that it was like Paul McCartney leaving the Beatles. How can you replace a guy like Dee Dee Ramone? You can physically put somebody in his shoes, but you're not going to get the same aura, image, and quality of songwriting as you did with Dee Dee Ramone.
I just start thinking of the positives. Okay, everybody going around me going, oh, you guys got to break up now. You can't play with that Dee Dee. What do you mean you can't play with it? You know, I'm finding somebody else, that's all. I mean, I'm going to break up. Are you crazy? I'm going to break up because Dee Dee quits. I'm just going to accept defeat and lose. Yeah. And I was just at that point determined that to prove them, anybody was around, wrong. So I thought, all right, this will be easy. Let's find a young Dee Dee, come down there, and somebody was like a Dee Dee clone.
And that's Johnny Ramone right there. Yeah. And this is Joey. And that's CJ, our new bass player.
I made it. It's a real exciting time with CJ in the band and Dee Dee leaving, having left the band, you know. Actually, I feel he did us a real favor by leaving the band.
CJ was great. He was like a breath of fresh air, man. When he came into the group, whew.
Take it, CJ.
What the
I guess in the beginning, I just kept my mouth shut and I just watched because I knew if I was going to survive in the band, I would have to understand the dynamics of the relationships between the guys, and you know, I would definitely have to have some kind of relationship with each guy. It was so weird because Johnny is like ultra conservative and Joey is ultra liberal.
Politically, we're always on opposite ends, you know.
We always right wing.
Me? Yeah, probably since I was 10 years old. I was a Nixon man in 1960.
Now, Joey turned out to be a New York left-wing Jew. You know, and he was there at every Save the Starving Namibians or the Rwanda Burundians or whatever.
We are here in support of Jerry Brown. He addresses the issues, understands the problems, and is courageous and adamant enough to challenge not only the Bush administration,